What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Cam ATL, and welcome back to another Props Made Easy video. In this video, I'm pretty much going to be breaking down the new GameScript Plus model at propsmadeeasy.com. Only $15 a month to join. If you haven't joined yet, what are you waiting for? It is the best player prop tool site that you could possibly use, and $30+ less than anywhere else. Okay, the new GameScript Plus model has been added, and I'm excited to talk about it and how it works and exactly what it is used for. It's probably pretty self-explanatory for a lot of you. A lot of you are probably knowledgeable enough on this stuff to understand what GameScript is. GameScript, as we all know, has a major effect on how our bets end up turning out. All right. If a team is blowing out the other, like let's say, for example, let's use a player for example. As you can see, I have GameScript Plus selected at Props Made Easy, as well as Plus EV Plus Projection. Now, Plus EV Plus Projection at Props Made Easy pretty much shows you the spots where EV is positive, and our projections, our projected stats, also match that same side. So EV and projection are both on the same side. So I have that selected, so that's all I see, and then I have game script selected. So you see, if I uncheck this, more players pop in. All right, more players pop in that way. Okay, but if I select it back, it limits it down to a core of players. Now, what we are looking at here, the players that are available here on the screen, are players that not only are plus EV plus projection, but also game script plus. Now, again, game script plus pretty much excludes all players who are in situations where their pick doesn't match up with how the game script is expected to go for that team. For example, if a team is expected to lose by 10 plus points, right? Obviously, that losing team will be throwing a lot more. They're going to have a pass heavy game script trying to catch up, to play catch up. So the last thing you want to do is play over on their rushing yards when they're not going to have as much rushing opportunity because they'll be throwing more. Now, some teams are just extremely run heavy teams in general, but still, no matter what, the base knowledge of if you're down big, you're going to be pass heavy. If you're up big, you're going to be run heavy, so on and so forth. You get it. And now, if it's a close game, nothing will be altered by the game script plus. Like if it's a neutral kind of script and it's expected to be a shootout in a close game, then guys won't, like for Derek Carr for example. This New Orleans game is expected to be close. Okay, so whatever plays that were already plus EV plus projection are still going to show when game script plus is selected because there's no issue with the script there. Okay, nothing excludes anybody due to script because the game is expected to be so close regardless. Now, if we look at a Raheem Mostert, the reason Raheem Mostert is showing here is because Miami is expected to be favored by a good bit, which means that Miami's game script is expected to be run heavy at a certain point once they're up big. Raheem Mostert's rushing yards, PME has a pick of over, which would match that game script because they're going to have more rushing opportunities, seeing Miami will be ahead most of the game. PME's pick is on over, which is why he's showing here. He's 60.5 on Prizepicks, 61.5 on other sportsbooks. That's a one sportsbook differential on the over, making it plus EV on the over. We have him projected at 67.5. Remember, Props Made Easy has partnered with the biggest sports data company in all of sports to bring you these projections. These aren't just thrown up. These are literal amazing stat projections to put you in great position to be successful. A 7 projection differential. So not only is EV on the over at 1, but the projection's over by 7. Okay? Then the PME pick is over because of that. And it is a rushing yards for a team that will be ahead most of the game, which will be running more. Opportunity is higher for Raheem Mostert because of game script. Tony Pollard, exact same situation. Dallas is expected to win by 10 plus points this weekend. Tony Pollard will have more rushing ability. Now, if they were underdogs by 10 points, you wouldn't want Tony Pollard's over rushing yards because the rushing opportunities will be less than if they're ahead. Luckily for Pollard, Dallas will be ahead. It'll be an extremely run game script come second half. And there'll be a lot of rushing yards capable for Tony Pollard. So 72.5 on Prizepicks, 74.5 on other sportsbooks. That's a 2 sportsbook differential on the over. Projected of 76.3, a 3.8 projection differential, making it a solid play on Tony Pollard. Same thing for Isaiah Pacheco, expected to be favored. Now, for example, Isaiah Pacheco's rushing yards over is showing here. His PME pick for over is showing here. Now, because of the game script being a run heavy game script for Kansas City come second half, because they're expected to be up, their receiving yards for their players and their passing yards for their players aren't showing here because they won't be throwing as much just off the fact that the game script will be run heavy. So that is why they're not here. The game script plus model will only show players that are either neutral or players that match what the game script is expected to be. So for Pacheco, Kansas City is highly favored. His rushing yards are over. Okay? And this isn't just over because the game script's like that. He's over because the data supports over. And he's just showing in this model because he's an over PME pick and he matches game script. Tony Pollard, projected for over, matches game script. Kenneth Walker, projected over, matches game script. Everything. So that is how that works at PME. Obviously, if you want to uncheck plus EV plus projection, you can immediately see all the best, but you can sort by projection differential. The picks that you see will not be plus EV, but you can look at projection differential. The only plus EV plus projection plays are going to be the ones that are green. If they're not green, then, so for example, let's look at Christian McCaffrey. All right. His game script would suggest a run-heavy game script, correct? San Francisco expected to dominate, which is why he's showing on the tool right now with game script. Just because he's not green doesn't mean he's not a game script play. Remember, game script model is going to show you, is going to limit the player pool down to players whose props that are supported by our projection differential matches the expected game script. So Christian McCaffrey for San Francisco, PME pick is on the over, 79.5 on Prizepicks, 78.5 other places. So the EV is on the under. But we know because of game script, we also know because of projection of 91 rushing yards, that 11.5 projection differential, Christian McCaffrey is a great option for an over regardless of what this EV says. And this is where EV can kind of get you in a little bit of trouble. Because EV alone, when you're just going off EV betting, which is why we compare it with our projection stuff, EV, when you look at it alone, there could be some things that kind of swayed that to where maybe you shouldn't be fully, as you know, if you play just EV, that's not something that's going to make you dominate consistently. Like just going off of that, you need other things to be able to be consistently successful with your bets, right? So EV has the under. That doesn't make much sense to PME. All right, projections at 91. Game script has rushing yards over in a very favored, extremely run-heavy game script for San Francisco. So you guys get it. I hope you guys get it. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments section. This new game script plus model is pretty awesome. It just really helps you narrow down that player pool even more to players that not only are the best options. For me personally, I like to keep plus EV plus projection. I like to have both of these selected so I know that not only these plays are plus EV plus projection plays and the data supports them, but the script is also perfect for that prop. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully you guys are knowledgeable on the topic now. PropsMadeEasy.com is the site if you want to get involved in that for NFL. It is an awesome, amazing tool. Super excited for all of you to utilize it and have success on your player props. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think. And let's get this money, man. Peace.